In this video, we'll talk about how to find the equation of an ellipse given the foci and the y-intercepts. So the equation of an ellipse has the following form: x minus h squared over a squared plus y minus k squared over b squared is equal to 1. And this a squared and b squared can be interchangeable depending on which denominator is larger. So the a squared is always going to be the larger denominator. So let's check out an example. Let's say we have some ellipse where the foci are located at 0, 8 and 0, negative 8, and the y-intercepts are located at 0, 10 and 0, negative 10. So when we're doing these types of problems, it helps if we can create a graph to kind of visualize the situation. So we're told that the foci are at 0, 8, so we'll say 0, 8 and 0, negative 8, and the vertices, or excuse me, the y-intercept is 0, 10 and 0, negative 10. So we'll say the y-intercept is somewhere up here, y-intercept, and the other y-intercept is at 0, negative 10, so somewhere down here, y-intercept. So we can tell that this ellipse will be vertical, so it will be shaped something like this. And what we can also tell is that since the foci lie on the exact same line as the y-intercepts are actually equal to the vertices. So we'll say it's equal to v, it's equal to v. So we want to figure out how can we write this equation of an ellipse using just this information. Well, first we need to find what is the center of this ellipse. So the center will be located directly in between the two foci. So we have a foci of 0, 8 and 0, negative 8. So we can see that the center of this ellipse will be directly in the middle of those two, located at 0, 0. And if that's not immediately obvious to you, when you have a vertical ellipse like this, you can just take the average of the y values of the foci. So if we want, we could say 8 plus negative 8 divided by 2, because that's the average of those two values. 8 plus a negative 8 is 0. So 0 divided by 2 will just be 0. So that means the y-coordinate of the center of this ellipse will be 0. And we know that the x-coordinate is 0 since both foci have x values of 0. So the center is just going to be located at 0, 0. And when we have an equation in this form, the center has coordinates equal to h, comma k. So the h in the formula is going to be 0 and the k is also going to be 0. So now we just need to figure out what is a squared and what is b squared. Well, a is the distance from the center of the ellipse to the vertices. So we can see that this distance is going to be 10. So we'll say a is equal to 10. B is going to be the distance between the center and the co-vertices. So the co-vertices are going to be on either of these sides. And we don't know what this B value is, but we do know that the following relationship exists. We know that C squared is equal to A squared minus B squared, where C is the distance between the center and the foci. So we can see that C, let's write it right here, C, this distance is equal to 8. So what we can say is 8 squared, or 64, is equal to A squared, so A is 10, 10 squared is 100, minus B squared. So solving for B, we can move the B squared to the left-hand side and subtract the 64 to the right-hand side. We'll get B squared is equal to 100 minus 64, that's 36. So we can write the final answer as x minus h squared. X minus, remember we said that h is 0, so we have x minus 0 squared, over, and recall that the a squared, if we have a vertical ellipse, then the a squared will be written under the y term. But if we have a horizontal ellipse, then the a squared is written under the x term. So in our example, our ellipse is vertical, which means the a squared will actually be written underneath the y term, and the b squared will be written underneath the x term. So in this case, we need to write b squared under this x term. So we found that b squared is equal to 36. So we write 36. And then we have plus y minus k squared. We found that k is 0, so y minus 0 squared, over, and remember we said the a squared is going to go under this y term. So a was 10, so a squared is 100. is equal to 1. So we can write our final answer as x minus 0 squared, that's just x squared. So x squared over 36 plus y minus 0, that's just y. So y squared over 100 is equal to 1. And that is our final answer.